Am I the asshole for bragging about me being multilingual when my fiancé made fun of my accent? Sorry, English isn't my first language. So I F26 been with my fiancé M26 for 2 years and 6 months ago moved to his home country. I stayed at home for 3 months self-learning Swedish and finally now I'm comfortable to speak it around and I understand conversations and stuff. At work everyone speaks English but now during social gatherings with family and friends I'm trying to be less shy and speak up, even if my Sweden is broken. We were having an after work with my fiancé and his colleagues and I mispronounced a word and he made a joke. She is a work in progress. Then I made another mistake and he said, well, should we switch to English so you won't keep embarrassing yourself? And all his colleagues laughed. I got annoyed and answered in Swedish, well, when you manage to speak 7 languages like I do you will be allowed to make fun of me. At least I'm trying. Now excuse me. And I left without saying goodbye to anyone. So that's when I think I was rude and kinda cocky. My fiancé got home saying I humiliated him and made a fool of myself in front of his colleagues. So am I the aw? Should I have played along? Edit. I'm trying to reply to most comments. I just want to thank you for all the positive and good input, I really needed it. Thank you so much. Not the asshole. He humiliated you, and expected you to sit there and take it? He could have asked if you would be more comfortable if they all switched to English instead of insulting you with the suggestion. So, really? He humiliated himself when his partner wouldn't accept being treated like a jerk by him. Do you know what a foreign accent is? It's a sign of bravery. Amy Chua. Not the asshole. That was really a holish of him. Not the asshole. Also, I have to warn you about Swedes, and no I am not making this up, they put banana on pizza. You should come to Norway instead. Another day on AITA the asshole, another asshole fiancé throwing out a parade of red flags. You're not the asshole, but I would heavily consider picturing exactly how happy your future is going to be with a guy who not only seems ungrateful that you've made the huge sacrifice of moving to his home country and learning the language, but is actively looking for opportunities to belittle and humiliate you in front of people. Spoiler alert. You're going to be desperately miserable if you stay with this man. Hey op, I'm Swedish. My mother is not, so her Swedish isn't perfect, albeit really good. I was born and raised here in Stockholm and I know many foreigners. I live with one as well. So I know what I'm talking about when I say the following. It's extremely uncommon for Swedish people to laugh at foreigners who are trying to learn the language. Swedish might seem easy but it's not. You're not the asshole. I would however reconsider your relationship if I were you. Det later namligen som att du är tillsammans med ett rovel. Hit me up if you're in STHLM and want to hang out with more normal, accepting Swedes. I'm a female in my 30s. Not the asshole. If he's that easily humiliated he should be used to it. Am I the asshole for saying my half-sister can't work for my family business? My mom passed when I was 4. I have 2 older brothers who were 6 and 7 when she passed. Our dad remarried just after my 9th birthday and had 2 children with his second wife. My brothers and I are 28, 30 and 31 now. And my half-sister recently turned 15. My brothers and I work with our mom's parents. She set up a restaurant with them before she had us, and our grandparents have told us we'll be the owners eventually. As it is, we make decisions like owners. My half-sister is obsessed with being a chef. She watches all the cooking shows and wants to be famous. Recently, she has started asking if she can work at the restaurant and start to get to know the family business. She said she'd love to take over as head chef one day and her mom could be head waitress. My brothers told her she was getting way too carried away. But she got all excited. She ended up talking to our dad about working for us. He said he was okay with it as long as we were. We're not. What it comes down to is this is a business our mom started with her parents for us to take over someday. For our family. And none of us believe she would want our dad's second wife or our half-siblings who are nothing to her working there, and taking such a huge place in it. We know our grandparents aren't comfortable with it either. I'm the most gentle out of us 3, so I told her that she couldn't work for us. I encouraged her to find somewhere else to work instead. She asked me why and I told her it was a decision made by those of us who ran the business. She asked me how it could be a family business if we don't allow family to work there. Then said how her mom should have been asked a long time ago. I told her that wouldn't make sense since her mom isn't related to my grandparents, the owners, and that ultimately, it's my mom's legacy for her children and how we're trying to honor that. She said it was dumb and fuck how my mom would feel when she can't even speak about it. My dad and his wife are so pissed we turned her down. They said she is our family and that should be what matters. It also brought some bitterness up about Dad's wife not being offered a place at the restaurant years ago. Seems there's some weirdness because Dad had worked alongside Mom and my grandparents for a while when they were first married. Am I the asshole? ETA. A lot of it revolves around money and legalities. When my dad got remarried, his wife approached my grandparents and told them she wanted to adopt me and my brothers, and how she and my dad wanted her to be the one to take control of any money that was meant to go to us, including savings my mom left my grandparents in control of. She told them she was going to be our mom now and she would be taking over finances for the family. That she needed to know everything we had and wanted access to it. When my brothers and I said no to being adopted, she and Dad approached my grandparents about having a conversation with us. And brought up the fact they had done any of the other stuff asked. She told them she was not comfortable with our photo being in the restaurant and said they needed to take it down. It was a photo of us with our mom and grandparents, because they were the parents now. The tone was set from there. And I suspect they must have asked to work in the business with the clear resentment they have that they weren't employed there a long time ago. Can't confirm it. But it was clearly expected my grandparents would ask Dad and his wife to work there. NTA. Your grandparents are the owners. You have no say. If she wants to be a chef, great. Your dad and step-mom should help her. McDonald's is a good place to start for her. And #X200B. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thank you for the awards. NTA. She's family but not to your grandparents on your mom's side. That makes sense. Entitled AF, the mom and daughter. Neither one of them deserve to work there, especially after disregarding and disrespecting your late mom's feelings and legacy. I'd ban them from the place for life. She said it was dumb and fuck how my mom would feel when she can't even speak about it. That's where I would have stopped being nice. She's got a lot of nerve. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Do not cave. I mean, how entitled is she and your dad and SM? That business has not a thing to do with them. Your mom, your grandparents. Your grandparents haven't given it to you all yet, it's their decision. You all sibs and grandparents, said she couldn't work there. End of story. This makes me so upset for you and your family. You handled it very well. Not the asshole. For those of you saying, I don't get why the step-sister couldn't work there. She basically talked of taking over the restaurant. Having no ties to it. She just expected them to let her work there. Entitled much? What's the difference between hiring her to wash dishes or bus tables and some other random kid off the street? It's not the kid's fault that her mom was out of line. You could have told her that you and your brothers own the business, that she could be an employee but she would be treated as any other employee. She was immature lashing out and saying what she said, but she's also 15 and was just told by her sister that she's not family. So let me get this straight, your grandparents own a restaurant and it is exclusively run by blood relatives? How do you manage not hiring externally? I understand it being a bit weird having your stepmother work there, but not your sister. You will have hiring power once the restaurant officially belongs to you and your brothers, so you can't use the fact that your grandparents wouldn't like it. I just can't seem to wrap my head around why you wouldn't want to help her with her dream. You're okay being unsupportive and denying her this opportunity because she's not your mother's child? No one is saying to give her shares in the business. But to deny her outright seems unnecessarily mean-spirited. I may be in the minority, but I definitely think you are the asshole. Am I the asshole for not canceling our wedding because Sil is getting divorced? My fiancé and I are getting married in September. My fiancé's sister just found out her husband and father of their 3 kids was cheating on her for the past 2 years and he left the house and they're getting a divorce. My Sil is very distraught by this, of course, since she's been with him since they were 19, they're 34 now. Since they're getting a divorce, now everyone from my fiancé's side of the family demands that we cancel our wedding to show solidarity and support to my Sil. They also believe it would be improper to celebrate while my Sil is getting divorced and left alone with 3 kids. My Sil also demands it and says there's no ifs and buts and the wedding is getting cancelled and it's the respectful thing to do. While I truly feel for her and her situation, I don't understand what our wedding has to do with it and how cancelling it will help her feel better. I understand being at a wedding is going to feel bittersweet, but her divorce and our wedding are 2 separate occasions and I don't feel like we should cancel anything. My fiancé agrees on everything and was the first one to say how it's completely unreasonable to cancel our wedding. My Sil and my fiancé's parents think we are being extremely selfish and inconsiderate. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. What a weird family. Let me guess, Sil is the golden child? Not the asshole at all. If Sil is that distraught over someone else getting married, then I think she needs therapy. Misery demands company. RSVP your regrets. Her demands are unreasonable and possibly narcissistic. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What a ridiculous suggestion that you put your lives on hold because her life is a mess. Her situation is sad, but it won't get any worse because you get married. Not the asshole. Your fiancé's family is insane for requesting this of you. Not the asshole. It's not fair to ask you to wallow in misery out of solidarity. It's a completely unreasonable request. If they are going to make it miserable for you, they don't need to come. This is a day for you and your fiancé. Adjust plans as needed to make it a positive, happy experience. Am I the asshole for calling my sister-in-law a disgusting witch? My brother recommended me this sub. I, 22F, have been with my husband Dominic, 24M, for 6 years and married for 8 months. Some background info. He has an older sister Juliana, 26F, who is very opinionated. For example, she considers me, Fatty Patty, her words. I'm 5'7" and 130 pounds. She happily told me that when I was dress shopping. When my sister confronted her, Juliana said it was just an opinion and to not take it personally. She also thinks my cat is ugly and so on. Juliana is marrying her boyfriend of 3 years Jerry, 42M. Jerry has 3 kids from his first marriage, 15F, 10M, and 5F. For some other context, Jerry is Caucasian and his ex-wife is Filipino. We are also Caucasian. Juliana came to my house uninvited the other day ago with her parents to discuss wedding plans. As she was going along, she casually says, "I don't know how to tell Jerry I don't want his daughters in my wedding." I ask what she means. She then tells me, usually mixed kids are beautiful but his youngest daughter is ugly. The oldest is too fat for the type of bridesmaid dress I want. His son is at least cute enough to have in the wedding. When I tell you I was shocked, I was shocked. I honestly seen red and said, they are kids for F-word sakes. His kids clearly adore you and that's what you say about them. You are a disgusting B-word. Everyone was dead silent. Juliana then bursted into tears calling me a heartless fat B-word. Their parents followed her and left. Dominic asked what was wrong with me and how dare I disrespect his sister. I asked him if he heard what she said about the kids. Dominic just shrugged it off and said, well, it's not like she directly said it to the kids. He has been giving me the silent treatment and says we'll talk when I apologize. I left to my brother's house. Bro agreed with me but his friend said Dominic had a point. My Sil says I'm not wrong but I shouldn't have stooped to Juliana's level. Am I the asshole? Here's an update if anyone is curious. Don't have kids with this guy. He will let his evil sister bully them and tear them down. You are young, cut your losses and run. And please tell her fiancé and his ex-wife what she said about his kids. They deserve to know. First of all, you and I are about the same height and weight. You are definitely not fat. Like what the fuck? She got a small taste of her own medicine and she can't even swallow the damn pill. Not the asshole. NTA. Your Sil even thinking what she said would not be okay. Saying out loud shows that she is exactly what you said she is. You absolutely should tell her fiancé. Not the asshole. This woman is going to be their stepmother? This is the completely stereotypical stepmother. A witch, the conniving, money-grubbing, send the kids to a Swiss boarding school variety. I feel so sorry for these kids. However, it seems like everyone but you do not see this problem instead. They are focused on poor Juliana whose feelings were hurt. Since everyone is in a snit anyway, how about telling good old Jerry what she said? You would be doing him and these 3 kids a huge favor. Not the asshole. But I'm more concerned about your husband giving you the silent treatment over this. It sounds like he's trying to excuse what she said. Maybe he doesn't want to acknowledge that his sister is mean? Not the asshole. I'm going to guess that he is your first boyfriend, first love, all that stuff? Are you quite sure he's not just a habit and that you maybe have been making excuses for what an asshole he has been all along? His sister is awful and he agrees with her awfulness, so it's not a big leap to think that he himself is also awful, but you didn't let yourself see it. Think about it, this is a man okay with cruelly mocking children. This is a man who takes his awful sister's side over yours. Maybe time to think hard about some stuff.